Elon Musk, according to the Wall Street Journal, sold $4 billion of his Tesla stock after agreeing to buy Twitter. And obviously, these two events are connected. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how much he's selling, what's the debt structure on the Twitter deal, and how much more he needs to sell of Tesla, if any. Hint, there's an important update you don't want to miss about future sales. How much more, if any, he needs to sell. Now, obviously, as you will see in the article, this sale is driven because of the Twitter deal. He needs some cash to finance that deal. Now, in the article, you'd find something really interesting. There's a table that was basically comprised by the team at the Wall Street Journal, in which you can clearly see what is the structure of the deal payments, what's the financing looks like. So you have $13 billion in loans from Barclays, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, all of these banks right here. Another $12.5 billion loans against Tesla shares, which is, again, the structure is basically right here. And you can see the 13 and 12.5. That comes to about $25.5 billion. Now, the financing, which was filed with the SEC, was $46.5 billion, which means that Elon Musk has to come up with $21 billion. Now, as you just saw from the headline, he sold $4 billion worth of Tesla stock. That still leaves $17 billion he has to bring in order to get the deal done. Obviously, he's in the short for $17 billion. So a lot of people are speculating that because he still needs another $17 billion to complete the deal, he's going to have to sell more Tesla stock. And that's the important part, because if he has to sell more Tesla stock, there's going to be more pain on the Tesla stock side. Because if you look at the Tesla share price, you see exactly how it played out. You can see exactly when he started to sell, what happened to the share price. It went from $1,000 and a little bit above, all the way down to $870 yesterday. Now it's slightly coming back up. So him selling more shares can potentially put more pressure on the Tesla stock and its price. So that is why he actually went on Twitter today and tweeted this tweet: "No further Tesla sales planned after today." No further Tesla sales planned after today. That means he's not going to be selling more Tesla shares. Now, again, you can interpret it in a bunch of ways. Today is still April 29th, which means that he might sell more shares today and no more sales after today. So, again, we don't know exactly where the buck stops, but will he sell $17 billion of Tesla stock in a single day? I highly doubt it. If anything, it's probably going to be very similar to what he's done so far. So maybe another $2, $3, $4 billion worth of Tesla stock. Elon Musk has plenty of Tesla stock to go around. He holds about, $150, $160 billion of Tesla stock, if my math is correct, which means he just sold about, not even 5% of that. I mean, let's be honest. It's not a huge deal, especially if you want to buy a platform like Twitter, which he believes is transformational for the survival of the human race. Now, you have to understand, if you want to invest in Elon project, which is Tesla, you have to take the good with the bad, or the bad with the good. He is what he is. I mean, he's not the sort of guy who's going to make strictly financial decisions. He was never that guy to begin with. When he purchased SpaceX or founded SpaceX, he did it with the money he got from PayPal. Essentially, all of his money from the PayPal deal, which was a couple $100 million, he invested it in a space rocket company. And that's not a really sound investment. There's no financial planner in the world which would say that this was a good investment at the time. So if you're hoping that Elon will stop being Elon, it's not going to happen. Twitter is not the best financial deal he ever made. But he was never driven by financial analysis. He likes Twitter. He thinks that this is pivotal to the survival of our society, and he's going to do it. So if there's one guy who can pull it off and still not get distracted, it's Elon. And don't forget, it's not like he's going to be the CEO of Twitter. He's owning it. He doesn't want to manage it. So I'm assuming he's going to have to put in a really powerful CEO there. So it's not a lot for Elon. He's not the sort of guy to just, go watch Netflix. It is what it is. Now, as far as what happens next with the Twitter deal, the likelihood of this deal falling through, in my opinion, are quite low. The main risk here, in the absence of regulatory risks, in the absence of complex tax global planning that needs to happen when you have a merger between two multinationals. In the absence of lack of funding, as you can see, the funding is definitely secured. In the absence of any kind of corporate issues that when you have two companies merging, the main risk of this deal is that Elon will back out, which seems to be very unlikely in my opinion, because he is completely invested mentally and emotionally into owning this company. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So as far as risks for the deal based on funding, clearly those are slowly evaporating as he's selling Tesla shares. I'm sure certain Tesla shareholders are not happy about that, but it is what it is. You want Elon, you get the good and the bad.